Uh, Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Aiscend AI Podcast, where real estate meets innovation. I'm your host, Hannah Taylor, realtor, investor, and AI strategist, helping brokerages bridge the gap between technology and true human connection. Today, I'm joined by Doug Allen, a seasoned managing broker who's been in real estate for more than 15 years. Doug has seen the industry evolve through multiple market cycles, built a strong local presence, and now leads his brokerage with a focus on community and long-term growth. We'll talk about what consistency really looks like in real estate, how to guide new agents through slower markets, and what it takes to build a brokerage with staying power. Doug, I'm so glad you're here and thank you so much for joining me.
My pleasure.
Great. Well, as we dive in, I'd love to just start by hearing a little bit about your background in real estate and what led you to open your own brokerage.
Well, got started over 15 years ago now. The previous broker went to church, that same church I went to, knew of my background. We had just come out of another totally different service industry, and he thought that my background would be good for his office and real estate in general. I had quite a bit of commercial background, and he did a lot of commercial real estate here in the Brownwood, early Texas area. So that's how I got started. I got recruited by a great man that I worked for previously. He and his wife owned this office that my wife and I own now. And so we just transitioned and bought the office from him, bought the franchise from him, and here we are.
Wonderful. So tell me a little bit about your role as a managing broker and what does your day-to-day look like?
Well, I am still a competing broker. I buy and sell real estate, help people all the time. We have one other agent in our office who I'm training and bringing along. She's new to the industry, but doing very well. She's got a good head on her shoulders, and that's what we look for. So that's kind of my day to day. Help buyers and sellers, help my agent grow and get leads and do listings and all the things that it takes to be a good real estate agent.
Love that. So talk to me a little bit more about this agent on your team and how you're helping her acquire listings and establish her business.
Okay. Thankfully, she's been in our area for a good long while, so she has contacts of her own. And we've just encouraged her to make sure that everybody she knows she's in real estate now. She's already picked up a couple of listings on her own, which was nice. She's got a couple of leads from people that she's known that now know she's doing real estate. Of course, we get leads through our company website, through other lead sources. And so I've passed some of those on to her that she's working. She has, I think, about 5 listings already in the first few months. So that's pretty good for a new agent.
I agree. Yeah, I feel like usually you see about like a 6-month lead period for new agents to really start getting their feet on the ground. So sounds like she's becoming quite successful quite quickly. Um, Tell me a little bit about the leads that are coming in. Where are you getting those leads other than your own website, and are you paying for those?
We are not paying for any leads right now. Primarily, they are coming from organic sources through Google, primarily. We have a pretty good Google page that we get reviews put on, which therefore keeps us front of mind for people that are looking in Brown County, Texas, and the surrounding counties. Most of our leads are coming from there. We do have a referral service that I use that has provided some leads for us, pay at closing type leads. And so I've been able to share some of those with her as well.
Oh, that's great. How does that work? The referral service.
They interviewed me and recruited me to be part of their network. And when they have a lead in our area, they share that with me. And then if we close the deal with that, whether it be a buyer or a seller, then at closing, we pay a 25% referral fee for that lead.
That makes a lot of sense. Are you seeing some good conversions on those type of leads?
I get pretty good. Probably, I would say about 25% is about normal.
Mhm.
Some of their leads don't pan out, just like any lead program or source, whether it be Zillow or any other lead source program. You have to the leads, and, some of them work, some of them don't.
Yeah. And are there any blocks or barriers that you're seeing or like for your new agent and for yourself? Is there a point where you receive a lead and then you usually see it drop off at a certain point, or is it relatively inconsistent?
Most of the leads that drop off happen pretty quickly.
Mm,
They either don't know why they got the lead in the first place, or they have um, had some other situation come up. Either they're not buying anymore, they can't get qualified for a loan, or they're not selling anymore, or they were able to come up with some other source, either family. A lot of times, they think, well, I didn't mean to do that. I have a family person that's helping me with my real estate. So those are usually what happens when they drop off.
okay, got it. So it's not a standard practice. I think what I hear sometimes with new agents is, oh, I didn't have time to call them within the first 5 minutes, or I don't know a proper follow-up. So it sounds like you guys might have that in lock already.
I think we're okay there.
Yeah,
I always follow up with the leads that I give my agents, and so I make sure that they're following up with those leads. Um, you never know, a lead could be nothing, or it could be $1 million lead. So you have to follow up on all of them.
absolutely. What do you set for, time frames for your agents to follow up? Do you have a standardized protocol?
Well, it's always as soon as possible. I realize we all have personal lives, but I encourage them to contact them as soon as possible.
Mm,
The sooner the better, as you well know. Strike when the fire's hot. So that's what we try and
absolutely.
do.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you. Well, I guess it's a really good understanding of your business. I'd like to talk a little bit about industry trends and what you're seeing as in market shifts and such. You've been in the business for a long time. So what major shifts are you noticing in the market or in the real estate industry overall?
Currently, I think that buyers got used to a lower interest rate for their loans, and since it went up, they're cautious, which is, I always try to explain to people, even at 6 or 7%, that's half of what it was when I bought my first house. So it's kind of funny that, we saw that 2 and 3% interest, which was practically free money. And certainly a lot of people took advantage of that. But even at where they're at now, I think I've seen some. Actually, I closed the deal the last week that was 5.8% interest. So they're out there under 6, but a lot of them are in the 6 range, still lower 6, mid 6 range. So trying to get people to understand that that's not really a bad interest rate is probably the biggest shift that we've had recently. There's a lot of homes and property in our area on the market. I think we have over a 6-month supply at the current moment. So we have a lot of inventory out there. The houses that are move-in ready have been updated, usually get an offer pretty quick. If they're move-in ready but older, or haven't had a lot of opt-ins, it's taking about 100 days usually to get those under contract.
Yeah. We're seeing that in our market too, where it's almost like there's two different things going on, right? Two different sales markets. One are those beautifully flipped brand new houses that go in the first weekend and then everything else just sits.
Yeah,
And yeah, it's a really interesting market to be in. I think there's a lot of buyer opportunity, but to your point, we do just have to coach our buyers to look beyond the low interest rates that they expect and understand that, historically 6% is a great interest rate. Um,
absolutely.
and yeah, I think it's almost retraining the brains of our consumers. Um, but how also has technology started to influence how you operate or how your agents operate, or even how you generate leads?
When I got into this business, we were still using a fax machine. I mean, it's evolved a lot over 15 years. Um, I remember having a flip phone when I started, and I was so attached to that flip phone. I loved it, but I was finally got a smartphone. I'm like, why did I wait so long to get a smartphone? It's so much easier to do business with. So technology has helped us as real estate agents because things move so much faster now. You can show a home and to an out of town buyer, for example, They go home and think about it and decide they want to make an offer. Well, all of that's done through email now, so it's fairly immediate. Everything is shared electronically. We even have people now closing remotely, don't even come to the closing table anymore. They sign either in front of a notary where they're at, or in some cases can even sign via like a DocuSign program or some other electronic program that might be available. So there's been a lot of changes that technology has really helped. Currently, AI is really, I think, influencing our network or our ability to do real estate and some of the things that we have. I think we're just scratching the surface on what AI can really do for us. But I love it. I'm not a great writer, and so a lot of my listing ads before were rather repetitive and used words over and over. And I tried to get out of thesaurus and change up some words, but AI can help me with that now. So I think my listing ads are much better.
Yeah, I think that's one big adoption of the AI into the real estate industry is writing descriptions for listings. It certainly saves a lot of time, especially if writing is not your strength.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Is there anywhere else in your business that you're using AI currently?
Currently, we are using AI to help our websites get found. AI is pretty smart, so we've learned that you can add blogs or articles into your website for bots and crawlers to find. And so we have implemented that strategy thanks to AI. We're learning every day about AI and all the things that it might can help us with. So that's some of the areas that we have implemented AI other than just helping write real estate ads.
Absolutely. We've come a long way since the fax machine for sure. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So tell me a little bit just about the current state of your business. What are you seeing as the biggest challenges or the biggest bottlenecks? And I know when we spoke before, you mentioned like, I would love to have the business in a place in 5 years where I can retire and sell this. Right. So
Mhm.
what are the biggest challenges or bottlenecks that are preventing you from getting to that state?
I think well, I don't want to sell when I get ready to retire, I want this to be a thriving business. And so a lot of what my business is right now is what I do. And so my focus is to hire, train, and retain agents that are going to do well in this market and have a successful career. I always look at my agents as if they're successful, I'm successful. So I really try to help agents be successful.
Mm,
But if I can add to our office, probably I don't need a lot of agents to be, a thriving office, but we have, 4 or 5 desks now that I can certainly fill. And to do that, I would be in a much better position to have a thriving business that someone would really want to purchase.
yeah. Agent recruitment seems to be kind of top of mind for many brokerages that I speak with. So, what do you think is the toughest part of attracting new agents?
I think it's like the comment you made earlier, it takes a little while to get established. This is not, you don't start today and get a paycheck next week.
Mm,
Uh, even if you started today and made a sale today, you're probably looking at least 4 to 6 weeks out before you get paid. So I think that's the biggest stumbling block for people. They've got to have either some savings or they have to have a side income of some type. People that have retired and still want to work are great candidates for real estate agents. They can really build a good business because they have that retirement income
mm,
available.
mhm,
So they're not totally counting on the real estate income to begin with. It's just that's the toughest part, I think. Young people do great at this. I mean, there are some young agents in our market that are just tearing it up. So it's nothing that anyone should shy away from, as long as they're willing to work with the public. They have a good work ethic and can follow up and be responsible. Uh,
Mm,
those are the type of people that can do very well with this.
absolutely. Yeah. What are you currently doing to recruit agents?
We have a drip marketing campaign on some people that we'd like to recruit. I have a digital sign that we installed a couple of years ago, and we have ads on that sign that say we're hiring. Um, our company, United Country, also helps us recruit agents. And so we have some programs going on through them. Those are the primary areas. I have done classes before, free classes for potential real estate agents. That usually works pretty well, and I'll probably have to do one of those here pretty soon, just to speed things along a little bit. When people are working or working on their license, when you get your real estate license, as I'm sure you are aware, the classes you take basically teach you how to not get in trouble and not really do real estate. So the
100%.
classes that I do are more hands-on experience, how to write contracts, how to write listing agreements, how to talk to people about listings and get listings, and how to frame your mind around all of that. So it's more of boots on the ground type training than what you get from the real estate classes that you have to take to get your license.
Yeah, that's great exposure for you to all the agents in the area. So that's wonderful. And so currently you aren't using any, you're using some digital advertising and you've got some ads running to target agents. So how much do you think you're spending on advertising for agent recruitment?
I'm spending zero at the moment.
Yeah. Okay. So
Through
even the
social
ads that you're
media,
running
I didn't
now,
mention, but I do have social media going as well.
great.
Of course, if you count the investment I made in the digital sign, then yeah, I've spent quite a bit of money. Those are not
Yeah.
cheap, but as far as actual ad spends, I'm not spending any money right now on ad spend.
Got it. Okay. Is that something that you think of that you might do in the future? If if okay, if I could bring on 4 or 5 agents, that's going to return X for me, so it's worth investing in the ad spend.
Yeah, it would be something I could look at, definitely. I'm not opposed to that, but that's not anything I'm running at the moment.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. Wonderful. So tell me a little bit more. I know you mentioned again just trying to retire with a successful business. So what needs to take place in order for that transition to feel complete and successful? Is it the number of agents? Is it gross income? Like what would make you feel good about transitioning your business?
Um, if it was me looking at buying this business, I would want it to have more agents that
Hmm.
are providing GCI for the office, um, and that showed the willingness or wanting to be a part of this organization and carry on even if I was not here. So that's a big part of what I see as trying to present a successful office. Our office has been in this town for 60 years now, almost. So
Oh,
we have a strong local presence. Um, we're on a busy corner, so people know who we are and that we do great things for helping people sell and buy real estate. So it's not the brand. The brand is well established, so I'm not concerned about that at all. It's just having more agents that are doing business to where it's affecting the office's bottom line.
absolutely. That makes plenty of sense. Last and final question is if you just had a magic wand and it could change anything in your business, what would it be?
A magic wand to change anything in my business.
Or take any repetitive task off your plate or any grievances or annoyances?
Well, gosh, I don't know if I have a really good answer for that. I love what I do. I don't really get aggravated at much. Um, it's like everything in business when you work with people, that's probably the greatest joy and also your greatest frustration,
Mm.
depending on the situation. We are a people business. If anybody thinks they're not in real estate, a people business, they're wrong. Without clients and customers, we don't have a business. So you have to take care of those people. And honestly, they're investing in probably their biggest investment purchase ever. And so it's a very important job to have. Some people say we're going to be replaced by whoever, AI, for example, robots. That's just not going to happen. People want interface connections. They want to know, like, and trust you. And
Mhm.
if that isn't there, an AI person can't do that. I mean, sure, we've all seen probably videos that AI has made, and they're pretty impressive, but they're still not shaking hands with people and being available and treating people the way they want to be treated. So
100%. I think you understand exactly, that AI can help our businesses and facilitate our businesses, but at the end of the day, it is that person to person, human to human connection, and AI is only going to be an output of what we put in, right? And there's nothing that can replace the human to human connection. So I'm so glad that you
absolutely.
mentioned that. I think that that's the perfect way to wrap up this conversation. So thank you, Doug, again, for being so open about your experience and your goals, and your challenges with your brokerage. And for anyone who's listening and wants to connect with you, give us your information on how they can connect.
Well, it's real easy. I answer my cell phone at 325-647-3254, or you can email me at doug@tx-agent.com.
Wonderful. And to our listeners, thank you for tuning in to the Aiscend AI podcast, where real estate meets innovation. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform. And until next time, keep growing, keep connecting, and keep building smarter. Thank you, Doug.
You're welcome. Thank you.